Welcome to the Cute Dog Bible Study with Dr. Randy Ream, Senior Pastor of Stony Creek Church in Utica, Michigan, bringing you Lesson 4. This study aims to inform and inspire you with biblical teaching to know, love, and obey Jesus as Lord. The dog video clips and pics help keep you alert while providing a little comic relief. Our dog for this week's lesson is Mufasa Brown, the Lion King look-alike guarding the lion's den of Chris and Megan Brown. Say hello, Moo. Good catch. Today's lesson is called The Dog Days of Lockdown. Usually we think of dog days as a heat wave in the summer between July and early September, the so-called dog days of summer. But according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the expression dog days can also refer to a period of stagnation or inactivity. If you're like many in Michigan, you may be working from home or laid off. You're also likely spending a lot more time at home than usual and may have some extra time on your hands. I saw a news article this week reporting that loneliness is up in the United States since the coronavirus shutdown. Many of you are feeling perhaps lonely or restless or bored or anxious or depressed during these dog days of lockdown. How about you, Moo? Feeling a little sluggish? Nope. Well then, you can help and encourage us as we study the sacred words of Scripture found in Paul's letter to the Ephesians, chapter 5. Let's look at it together. Ephesians 5, verses 15 and 16. It says, "Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil." Notice the key words, making the best use of the time. That's what we're focusing on this study. How can we make the best use of our time, especially during this lockdown? Today we'll discover some helpful ways we can apply this text. But please, notice how Paul begins in verse 15. He says, "Look carefully how you walk." What's he mean by look carefully how you walk? He's not talking about taking a stroll or walking your dog. Sorry, Moo. Walking here is a figure of speech for living life, the journey of walking the path of life. The New International Version, or NIV, explains the figure of speech to make the meaning clear to us by translating the same expression. Look at it. Be very careful how you live. How you live replaces how you walk in the ESV. This is indeed what Paul means, but I like to retain his walk metaphor here because you may be doing a little bit more walking during this shutdown time. When you walk, you need to watch where you're stepping. You don't want to step in front of a car or into a pile of dog poo. You also have to keep your eyes focused on where you're heading. Paul says we need to live our lives like this, keeping careful watch on how we're walking and where we're heading. Remember, every day of your walk in life's journey, you head in some direction. Are you heading where God wants you to go? Or are you heading off in the wrong direction? Every step you take counts, either for good or bad. Be careful how you walk. It's in this context that Paul gives us our key phrase, making the best use of the time, in verse 16. That's according to the ESV. Paul uses another metaphor that our English translations, even the ESV, which usually is more literal, English translations frequently explain this metaphor in order to bring out the meaning. Literally, the words in the ESV translated making the best use is the Greek participle exagorazomenoi, which means literally redeeming, as in buying back or buying up. So in other words, Paul is saying, buy up the time. Picture yourself at the grocery store, knowing that there is going to be a lockdown soon. And so you buy up some extra items like toilet paper, not to hoard, but to have on hand in case there's a shortage. Of course, we can't buy up time in advance, but what Paul means here is to make the best use of the time that God grants you, because every second is precious and you can't get it back once it's spent. In that respect, it's like toilet paper. And so, don't waste your time spinning in circles. Then Paul adds another zinger. He says we need to buy up the time because, he says, the days are evil. We live in a time period when the prince of darkness, the devil, holds the world in his diabolical grip. The Apostle John tells us the whole world is under the control of the evil one. That's 1 John 5, verse 19. This means most people who don't know, people who don't follow Jesus, are walking in the wrong direction and not making the best use of their time. Your job, according to Paul, my job, is to walk in the right direction by buying up the time to use for good purposes. Buy it up so that it can be used by you to advance God's kingdom. To waste time, my friends, is a sin. And so, as Moo will tell you, timing is everything.
Wait.
Good boy. I found that when I'm feeling badly, a helpful way to start feeling good again is to do something good for someone. Even if it's as simple as just loading up some dishes in the dishwasher or making a phone call to a hurting person. I find it helps get my mind off of myself onto doing God's work. Allow me to share some tips for buying up time for the kingdom. Some are pretty obvious, but I'll mention them for those of us who may know but still aren't acting on these things. First, reach out on Facebook or via telephone, especially to an elderly or hurting person. Take a walk and chat with your neighbors. It's a good way to start a redemptive conversation. Check in on an elderly or hurting person. Run an errand for someone who can't get out. Stay connected with your church family and your small group. If you're not part of a small group, join one. You can get on via Zoom and get to know some new people. If you're interested in getting into a small group, go to my.stonycreek.church and find the small group connection there. Spend a day alone with the Lord, if you're able to do so, praying and reading His Word. Begin a Bible reading program. You can see the YouVersion plans. There are plenty of plans there to choose from. And then finally, read good literature. Reading is for too many people a lost art. This is terrible. We're becoming a culture that knows nothing of history or the great literature of the past. This is like taking a tourniquet and squeezing off a part of your brain to the most important lessons of the past. You become brain dead to crucial lessons. It's mental suicide, folks. Don't allow it to happen to you or to your kids. Let me give you some good recommendations to start you off. C.S. Lewis is, I think, the best place to begin. He's a one-stop shop for the whole family. For kids, try The Chronicles of Narnia. You can read the books to your kids. You'll enjoy them too. Or if they're old enough, they can read the books themselves. They're not too difficult. Lewis is perhaps the greatest Christian author of the 20th century, and his kids' books are world famous. Also, your kids will love the Focus on the Family radio theater, which brilliantly communicates the Narnia stories and other great stories with audio that will captivate your kids' imagination and develop their mental and spiritual growth. They're available on Amazon.com. Audiobooks is a great way to learn. I highly recommend radio theater. It has a truckload of great stories for kids and teens. My kids grew up on radio theater, listening to it every night as they went off to bed and in the car on vacation trips and so forth. For adults, if you're new to C.S. Lewis, I recommend you begin with The Great Divorce or Mere Christianity. They will feed your soul and deepen you spiritually like few other books will. These books are both on my all-time most influential book list. That's a short list. I just finished these books again recently, and I don't know how many times I have done so, and I gain more each time I go through them. These are classics, but if you're not the reading type, you can read by using audiobooks. I do this myself constantly. I have a stack of books that I read, hard copies of, and then there are those that I'm listening to at the same time period. I constantly do this. You can purchase them for a small price. Just go to audible.com. And both of these titles that I've recommended are brilliantly read. The Great Divorce is especially well done. So if you like listening, check out audible.com. If you've never read The Pilgrim's Progress, you owe it to yourself to read it. This is considered one of the great literary masterpieces of English literature, and it's an extremely powerful spiritual classic. It was written by John Bunyan while he was in prison for preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's very, very inspiring. The animated movie version that I have pictured here is great for kids and adults like me. I've enjoyed it myself. Don't depart this life without reading or at least watching Pilgrim's Progress. How about some good stuff on TV? For the kids, have them watch Superbook. Very well done animated Bible stories for kids with practical lessons. They're so good, I'm addicted to them myself. Your best bet is to watch them on Amazon Prime, if you have that. But you can also find them on YouTube, although you have to hunt around a bit to find the full episodes with no ads. Just go to their YouTube channel and kind of go from there, but you still have to hunt around a bit to get the full episodes. As for some great movies for us grown-ups, have you watched all of these movies that I'm going to recommend yet? Jesus of Nazareth, all-time great classic, best movie about Jesus ever. The HD version is on YouTube, and you can watch it. It's very easy to get to. The HD version of Jesus of Nazareth. Also, there's a great movie called The Chosen. That's about Jesus, and that's in the works right now. Amish Grace is a very powerful movie about forgiveness. It's a true story. Also, a great war movie is Hacksaw Ridge. That's a Mel Gibson directed. It's great movie. Or try I Can Only Imagine. Or the long version of Pride and Prejudice, the Jane Austen classic that's been put to film by the BBC. It's great. These are movies that will entertain you, inspire you, and also get you to think. Let me encourage you to redeem the time, even during your entertainment. Don't waste time on shows and movies and music and games that have worldly or ungodly themes. That's a walk in the wrong direction. Buy up the time every second for the Lord. Wasting time is a sin. Time is a gift from the Lord, and once it's passed, it can never be brought back. Well, that's our cute dog Bible study for this week. If you enjoyed it, please let me know and share it with someone else. Also, if you liked it, give it a rating on YouTube. This helps more people to see it. Also, do you have a cute dog? Would you like your dog to appear on an upcoming episode of the Cute Dog Bible Study? If so, here's what to do. First, send video clips of your cute dog to me via Facebook Messenger. That's the best way to get it to me. Second, make sure they're up-close individual action shots that last no longer than 5 seconds or so. Third, please tilt your phone on the side so we get a wide shot. Fourth, please limit to 5 clips per dog along with several still shots. I can't guarantee that I'll use your stuff, that's my disclaimer, but I'll do my best. For now, goodbye, and God bless you.